You wake up, your feet hit the floor. You walk into the bathroom, turn on the sink, and you look up. You stare at that reflection in the mirror, and a voice, maybe for the first time, cuts through the noise. It says, "It's time to rise." You just stop. You think about it. And that reflection, it keeps speaking. And today, for the first time, you actually decide to listen.
And you know what that reflection tells you? It tells you the unfiltered truth. Yeah, life has carved out some valleys in front of you. Some of it, sure, was your undoing. Some of it was just chaos, the universe doing its thing. But here's the deal. The origin story, it doesn't really matter anymore. Because all of it, every single win and every single scar, it's yours now. This idea of radical ownership, that's it. That's the starting line.
So, where do we begin? Well, before you can change a single thing in the world around you, you have to completely reconstruct the world inside of you. This is the blueprint phase. This is about laying the architectural foundation for a brand new reality, brick by painstaking brick, all inside your own mind.
And that raises a huge question, one you have to be honest about. See, we can only exist inside the walls we build for ourselves. So, where have you built yours? Is your career trapped inside a wall that says, "This is just what I'm worth"? Is your fitness defined by that old story, "Oh, I'm just not an athletic person"? Come on. These aren't walls of stone, you know? They're walls made of stories we tell ourselves, reinforced over and over again by habit.
And this, right here, this slide perfectly illustrates the two different games you can play in life. Look at the questions on the left. They're all about getting comfortable inside those walls. How do I make this bearable? That's a game of survival, of just getting by. But the questions on the right? Oh, they aren't about the walls at all. They're about building a completely new arena. You stop asking how to navigate your circumstances, and you start asking, how do I create new ones?
So how do you start building? It starts with two of the most powerful words in the entire human language, I am. Now, these words are not just a passive description of who you are right now. No. Think of them as an active spotlight, a tool you can use to intentionally shine a light on the parts of you that you want to bring into existence. They are, quite literally, a permission slip that you write to yourself, for yourself.
And here's why that's so critical. And this isn't some fluffy stuff. This is grounded in basic psychology. You will always act in a way that lines up with your perceived identity. It's the foundation of things like cognitive behavioral therapy, right? Our core beliefs drive our actions. So if you believe I am undisciplined, guess what? You're not going to build that business. But if you believe I am a dedicated athlete, you'll find a way to get that workout in. That I am statement, it's the master key that rewrites your core belief, which in turn completely rewires your actions.
Okay, so we've got this internal blueprint. We're starting to rewire our identity. Now what? Well, a new identity is totally worthless if it doesn't lead to new action. So this is the construction phase. This is where thought finally becomes deed. And right here, we face the ultimate choice. Today, this moment, it's your greatest opportunity. It's actually the only moment that even exists. The air in your lungs right now, the ground under your feet, it's all happening now. But tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow is the most dangerous word in your vocabulary. It's a mirage. It's a beautiful excuse our fear cooks up to keep us from ever beginning. And that tomorrow becomes next week, which becomes next year. And then it becomes the deep regret of never having started at all. You know, the antidote to the poison of tomorrow is the imperfect start. I actually just went through this. I moved my studio, and my main equipment was delayed for 24 days. I could have waited for the perfect setup, right? Instead, I propped a camera up on some empty boxes, and I just recorded. The imperfections, they became part of the story. So don't you dare wait for the fancy tools. What you have right now, your phone, a notebook, it's enough to begin. The tools don't make the creator, you do. And as you begin, you have to remember this. People, they might not get what you're doing. They will see you dancing and they'll think you're insane because they can't hear the music that you hear. So you have to trust your process. Their confusion isn't a sign that you're lost. It's a sign that you are finally on your own path.
All right, now let's zoom out. Let's get out of the weeds of the daily actions and see the grand design of your life. It's time to take on the architect's view to understand the philosophies that hold up the entire structure, not just a single brick you're laying today.
This is probably one of the most powerful concepts I've ever come across. From Stoic philosophy, amor fati. It means a love of fate. It's this profound belief that everything, and I mean everything, that happens in your life, especially the suffering and the loss, is necessary. And this isn't just, passively giving up. No, it's an active embrace. It's understanding that the obstacles aren't in the way of your path, they are the path.
Stephen Colbert once asked, "What punishments of God are not gifts?" Think about that. The physical pain of a cold morning run, that forges conviction. A really painful breakup, that creates the empty space needed for the right person to finally walk in. Even something as simple as a debilitating headache can make a simple sunrise feel like the greatest miracle you've ever seen. The lows are what give us the contrast to even recognize the highs.
And please, understand that your journey is not one constant uphill sprint. It just isn't. Life has seasons. There are times to build, to achieve, to push forward with every ounce of energy you have. And then there are times to pace yourself, to explore, to reflect, and even to tear down some old structures so you can rebuild something stronger. Don't define your entire life by whatever season you happen to be in right now.
The late, great Charlie Munger said that acquiring knowledge, and by extension pursuing your own growth, is a moral duty. This whole journey isn't some selfish act. You owe it to yourself and you owe it to the world to capitalize on your potential, to become the most effective, most capable version of yourself in whatever arena you choose to play in.
So it all just comes down to this one simple, unavoidable truth: you get in life what you are willing to tolerate. All that pain, the turmoil, the frustration, think of it as a signal. It's a flashing red light telling you that you are allowing thoughts or people or circumstances to exist in your life that are out of alignment with the person you are building yourself to become.
Which brings us right back to the beginning, back to that reflection in the mirror. See, the voice, it's been there all along, but it's clearer now than it's ever been before. It says it's time to rise. So the only question left, the only one that matters, is will you listen? They've already told themselves yes. They've built this unstoppable force within. And now it's finally time to show the world what that looks like.
You see, what we're really talking about here, it's not luck. It's not about the hand you were dealt. No, it's about construction. It's about deliberately, piece by piece, creating your own reality. You are the architect. And today, we're going to look at the plans.
All right, so here's how we're going to break this down. 3 core pillars. First up, the architect's mindset. Then we'll get into the blueprint for action, and we'll wrap up with building your momentum.
All right, let's jump right in. Part 1, the architect's mindset, laying the foundation. Every great structure, every single one, it starts with the foundation, right? And before you can build anything out there in the real world, you have to construct the framework right here inside your own mind.
And what's so interesting about this is that this whole foundation, it rests on this critical balance. You have to learn to be 2 things at the exact same time. You've got to be your own biggest fan, but also your own biggest critic. One ensures you show up, the other demands you get better. And listen, this isn't some nice to have. It's absolutely the core of the whole thing. So let's talk about that first part, being your biggest fan. Really, what that means is consistency. It's that simple, but incredibly powerful act of just showing up, especially on the days you really don't want to. Think about it like this. What's your non-negotiable, right? Maybe it's writing just 100 words, or making that one sales call, or doing 5 push-ups. Whatever it is, that small, consistent act, that's your cost of admission. That's how you get in the game. And every single time you do it, you're creating another data point. Okay, and that's where your biggest critic steps in. See, all that data you've been collecting just by showing up, it's pretty much useless without this next step, adaptation. This is where you have to pause. Maybe it's once a week, you just stop and ask the hard questions. Okay, what's actually working here? What's not? What is the one tiny little tweak I can make to get better? That is the process. That's what turns the simple act of showing up into the powerful engine of leveling up. If you skip this part, you're just spinning your wheels.
All right, so you're being consistent, you're adapting, you're doing everything right, but then what happens? Life throws a massive wrench in your plans, and it feels personal, doesn't it? Like every single obstacle is a personal attack designed just to stop you.
This is where you have to internalize a huge foundational truth. And it is this: life is neutral. It's not personal. It doesn't have an agenda. It's not for you. It's not against you. It just is.
So let's really break that down. Look, things just happen, right? Your flight gets canceled, a big project fails. These things aren't good or bad. They're just facts, neutral events. We are the ones who come in and tell a story about them, who assign the meaning. And the second you take it personally, you're emotional. You're not rational anymore. You're wasting all this energy being mad at the world instead of, solving the problem. And that's the whole mindset shift right there. A problem is an indictment of you. It's just a puzzle waiting to be solved.
All right, part 2, the blueprint for action, designing your victory. So now we've got this neutral mindset as our foundation. The question is, what do we do with it? How do we put it to work? Well, it's time to draft the blueprint. This is where we take all that internal strength and we translate it into decisive, real-world action. This is where we literally design our victory.
And the very first principle of any winning blueprint has to be boldness. Robert Frost put it perfectly. Freedom lies in being bold. It's this idea that you have to be willing to be more today than you were yesterday. You have to willingly step into what's uncomfortable and just ask for more. More from yourself and more from the world.
But come on, how much of a difference can a little boldness really make? Well, there was this one pretty remarkable study, and it made this much of a difference: 46 times. So what on earth could that number possibly be about?
So get this. Ecologists were studying wolves at Yellowstone for 27 years, and they found something incredible. Some wolves were infected with a parasite that literally made them act bolder, more reckless. And those wolves, they were 46 times more likely to become the pack leader. Now, of course, there's a huge risk there, but that risk is tied directly to reward, to status, to leadership. Being bold, it fundamentally changes the entire game.
And boldness isn't just about being aggressive. It's about seizing the moments you're given. Just look at this, the 2022 World Cup. You've got powerhouse Argentina versus Saudi Arabia. Argentina had the ball almost 70% of the time. They took 15 shots on goal, Saudi Arabia only took 3. By every single metric, Saudi Arabia was completely outmatched. But the only stat that actually matters is the final score. And Saudi Arabia won 2-1.
So what does that tell you? It's not about having the most opportunities, is it? Victory doesn't go to the team with the most shots. It goes to the one that makes their shots count. And you are going to face times when you feel completely outmatched. The only question that matters is, what are you going to do with the handful of chances you do get? Because sometimes that's all it takes.
And this really forces us to reframe what we even mean by the odds. We think of success like it's a lottery, right? This giant jar of marbles, millions of green ones, and maybe one red one. And we're just hoping to get lucky. But that's all wrong. Every single time you decide to push forward, every hour you put in, it's like you're reaching into that jar, taking out a green marble and putting a red one in its place. You're not hoping for good odds. You are actively building the odds in your own favor.
Okay, part 3, building your momentum, from plan to masterpiece. This is where it all comes together. We've got the mindset, we've got the blueprint. Now, it's time to talk about the build, how we create that unstoppable momentum.
And where does momentum begin? Well, it starts with a simple, powerful truth from the management legend Peter Drucker. What gets measured gets improved. Think about it. Until you measure something, you're flying blind. You're just guessing, hoping for the best. But the second you start to track it, the entire game changes. I can actually give you a personal example here. When I first started my YouTube channel, a buddy of mine asked me, "Hey, how many subscribers are you getting a day?" And you know what? I had no idea. So I started tracking it. Just that one number. Every single morning, I'd write it down. And that simple little act did two huge things. One, it kept growth right at the front of my mind all the time. And two, it gave me the data I needed to start making smart adjustments. My blind hope, it turned into a strategic mission.
You know, so often, when we come up against a locked door, our first reaction is to get overwhelmed. We think the solution has to be as big as the problem, so we immediately start looking for a sledgehammer, right? Some massive, complicated, earth-shattering solution that's going to let us smash right through.
But here's the thing. Time and time again, the answer isn't a sledgehammer. It's a key. It's some small, precise, simple little adjustment that we've totally overlooked. It's not, I have to reshoot the whole video. It's, I need to tweak the thumbnail. It's not, I need to rebuild my entire business. It's, I need to change the first line of my sales email. The smallest hinge can swing the biggest door. And that key, it's almost always already in your pocket.
And this brings us to the final piece for creating truly relentless momentum. And that is commitment. Total commitment. You've heard the phrase burn the boats, right? It's about strategically, deliberately eliminating your escape route. Because when retreat is simply not an option, it is absolutely incredible how resourceful you become, how determined you get. You're forced to find a way to move forward, because there is no other way to go.
So, let's put all the pieces together. Your mindset, that's the foundation. It's knowing life is neutral and being both your biggest fan and your sharpest critic. Then, your actions, that's the blueprint. It's all about being bold and capitalizing on every single opportunity you get. And finally, your momentum. That's the build. Fueled by measurement, driven by total commitment, rising higher and higher.
Listen, every single day, you're given the materials. Every choice you make is another line on the plan. The blueprint is right there, in your hands. So the question is never, can I build it? The only question is, what will I build? You are the architect. So, what are you going to build today?
You know that feeling, that nagging sense that you're just waiting for that perfect job, that one person, that one lucky break to just fall out of the sky and change your whole life. We all feel it, this idea that our big moment is coming. But what if that's all wrong? What if waiting is the one thing holding you back? So let me paint a picture for you. You're at some networking event, right? The energy's buzzing and the speaker gets up on stage and says, "You are just one handshake away from your life changing." Wow, it sounds amazing, doesn't it? It feeds that hope that there's someone out there who has the key, and all you have to do is find them. But here's the thing. What if that whole idea is actually a trap? A really clever cage that keeps you looking everywhere but where the real power is. Because when you're looking for someone else to be the answer, you're handing over your own value. You're basically saying, I'm not enough. The real shift happens when you stop looking for the answer and start building it inside yourself. Okay, so here's the fundamental truth. Real success, those game-changing opportunities, they aren't the first step. They're what we call lagging indicators. They only show up after you've put in the blood, sweat, and tears to become damn good at what you do. Your life doesn't change when you meet the right person. Your life changes when you become the right person. So this is our first mission. We have to stop looking for answers out there. This is about taking the power back. It's about completely tearing down this idea that some other person holds the keys to your future, and realizing that you've had the keys in your pocket this whole time. And how do we even start to do that? Well, it all begins with this powerful concept, your internal decoder. Just think of it like a lens or a filter that you see everything through. The world is just going to throw chaos and opportunity and setbacks at you. It's all just raw data. You are the one who writes the story about what it all means. See, here's the secret. Things that happen aren't inherently good or bad. They're just neutral. It's the story we tell ourselves, our interpretation, that gives them power. Imagine your social media account with years of your work gets hacked. Gone. Of course, the first feeling is going to be pure rage. That's human. But the response? That's your choice. You can decode it as I'm ruined, or you can decode it as this is a brutal but powerful lesson in not being fragile. You're in control of the narrative. And when you start thinking this way, difficulty itself completely changes. What if all the struggles, all the setbacks, aren't actually interruptions in your story? What if they're essential notes in the symphony of your life? Those tough times, the low points, they're not mistakes. They're crucial pieces of the final masterpiece. It's all about contrast, isn't it? In music, without the quiet, low notes, the big, soaring high notes just wouldn't hit the same. The struggle is exactly what gives the victory its meaning. The resistance you face on the journey is precisely what builds the strength you need to reach that powerful crescendo. I love this analogy. Think about going for a long run. On the way out, you've got this awesome tailwind pushing you. It feels effortless. But in the back of your mind, you know that on the way home, that same wind is going to be a headwind right in your face. It's going to be an obstacle. Or is it? When you finally turn around, you're tired, you're sweating, and you can choose to decode that wind differently. It's not just resistance anymore. It's the very breeze that's cooling you down, helping you finish. You just turned a problem into your support system. Now, having a powerful mindset is the engine, but an engine sitting in a garage goes nowhere. It's not enough to think differently, we have to start acting differently. And that brings us to the raw, unglamorous discipline of execution. This is the art of just showing up. The road to becoming truly great at anything is really built on 3 things. First, consistency. This one is simple. It's non-negotiable. You show up, especially on the days you feel like garbage. Second, adaptation. This means you have to be your own biggest fan for getting the work done, but also your own harshest critic, constantly asking, is this working? How can I make it better? And finally, number 3, boldness. This is about having the guts to ask more of yourself, to push a little harder, to give a little more than you thought you could. And the secret to consistency? It's all about simplicity. We get so paralyzed trying to build the perfect, most complicated plan ever. Forget that. Winning is about starting. You have to create a ridiculously low barrier to entry for yourself. You want to start running in the morning? Just put your shoes right next to your bed. That's it. Make it easier to do the thing than to not do it. Start now with what you have. You can improve along the way. So, you've shifted your mindset. You've committed to showing up. This all leads to the final and maybe most important piece of the puzzle. You have to learn to trust your own game. This is about a radical, almost obsessive focus on your path and your strategy, while learning to ignore the distracting noise of what everybody else is doing. Imagine you're in an axe throwing competition. Your game is simple. Hit the bullseye. Over and over. You're consistent, you're racking up points, you're winning. Then you see your competitor hit one of those tiny high-risk blue dots for double points. Instantly, you feel that temptation, that pull to change your strategy and chase what they just did. Don't. You trust your game. Let them go for the flashy, high-risk moves. Your victory is built on consistency. Don't let their game derail yours. You know, there's that great line from Alice in Wonderland that says it all. If you don't care where you go, any road will take you there. It's so true. If you don't have your own North Star, your own definition of what winning looks like for you, you'll just wander around chasing whatever looks shiny. You have to know what you're aiming for. That's what lets you stay locked in on your bullseye, not someone else's. So in the end, everything we've talked about, it all comes back to you. This moment, right now, this isn't the final chapter. This is the starting line. Every single day is a new chance to write the story, to aim a little higher, to become the very answer you've been looking for. That power was never out there somewhere. It's been in you the whole time. So the only question that really matters now is, what are you going to build with it?